And we are live in a minute.
Talk like what you know, like when we go through the topics or whatever. Like today, I think we just push on myself and better ourselves, and we just keep in. I don't know. You don't have to show your face.
If you are on this call and you're not muted except my guests, please mute yourself or I will be forced to remove you from this conversation. All right. Let me see if it's showing us live. Okay, we are now live. Hello, my guests. Hi, Robert from Nairobi. How you doing?
I'm good, Dr. Lucy Mackenzie. How are you doing?
Very well. How have you been?
Good to see you.
Oh, awesome. Hold on. All right. Are you getting a delay or is it good?
It's okay. It's real time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Ralph.
Hello. How are you today?
Hello, Ralph. Good to see you as well. How have you been?
Too. I'm well, thank you. And it's beautiful being on this platform. Thank you. Good to see you all. Hi, Robert. How are you?
I'm good, Ralph. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
Great. So great to see you guys. And I don't know how many people we have who are watching, but for time, we love to be on time. People who are making money do not waste time. So we will get right to it. I want to take this opportunity to welcome you, viewers. I know many of you have been totally waiting for this. And so I know we are in for a great treat, and we do have a few guests online who have joined us, but they are on mute, just on listen mode. So the conversation is just going to be the three of us. But for those who have made time, thank you so much. You are a blessing. And so I know everybody's talking. They want to make money. So I am privileged and honored to host the founder and CEO of Abojani Investments out of Nairobi, Kenya, and also my friend Ralph Kilondu from Atlanta, Georgia, who will also have input. And so without further ado, share this video with your friends, share to your groups so that they all can benefit out of this knowledge. Because diaspora, this is our time. And what we do now will be such a huge benefit to our kids in the future. And we do not want to miss this train. So welcome to the show. I will have Robert go ahead and introduce yourself, and then I'll have Ralph introduce himself. Hey, Robert, say hello to our viewers.
Hi, Dr. Lucy. Thank you very much for having me. So my name is Robert Ochieng. I'm the CEO and founder of Abojani Investments. So in Abojani Investments, we simply want to connect as many Kenyans as possible with their life goals. So we help them to connect their finances, organize so that they can have the lives of their desires. And we are happy to work with people in diaspora because diasporians, they play a big role currently as being the biggest foreign exchange earner for Kenya. So anywhere we are talking about Kenya, diasporians are with us. And we want to see you doing a lot in Kenya in terms of investments and helping us build capital because capital markets, they are what will make us rich. If you are talking about being billionaires, if you look around the world, everywhere, every billionaire that you'll see out there, they usually have quite a lot of stake in the capital market. So I invite you, and we'll be ready to share with you the journey, how to get started, and be part of the growth that we are seeing in Kenya and Africa.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Robert. And Ralph, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you, Lucy, for this opportunity. I'm not new in this world, but for those who do not know me, my name is Ralph Kilondu. I am the Honorary Secretary and co-founder of the Kenya USA Diaspora Circle. We have helped a lot of Kenyans own assets in Kenya and also create wealth. And being in this platform where we're also sharing with the lady team who are sisters in this world of investing, this could not be a better forum to be at. I'm also a businessman. I live out of Atlanta. I own a transportation company, and I do some business activities in Kenya as well. With Robert here, my friend, it has even become a larger platform because I guess we'll talk a lot more about that, but just to have this platform with Robert in the diaspora, it's a big deal. Thank you, Lucy, for making this happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ralph. And it is an honor to host both of you. And for those who are watching and who do not know me, my name is Dr. Lucy Mackenzie. I am the chair of Kenya North America Diaspora Circle. We are the sisters to Kenya USA Diaspora Circle. We call them our big brothers. They've been in business much longer than we have. We are only 4 years and they are 8 years. So, you know, we are well-spaced children, and we have learned to play nice together. There is enough people to help out there. Our mission is the same. So, Ralph, it's an honor to have you on this platform. So I also host the Diaspora Conversation show. And my goal with that is to enable diasporans to access as many opportunities as possible, because there are so many opportunities we do not get to know about. We usually have people come and sell us land, they sell us houses, but usually we don't see people coming to sell us. How about you consider the Nairobi Stock Exchange? And the money is being made there. Foreigners are coming into the country and having the benefit of making great returns and taking this money out of Kenya. As diasporans, we remit over 300 billion, but there are no tangible, mostly, things that can showcase how that 300 billion has been utilized. And so, and remember, when our money comes to Kenya, it doesn't come to Kenya and then leave Kenya to come back where we are. It usually stays here. And so when foreigners are coming to invest here and taking their returns out of Kenya, I don't think Kenya is gaining. Oh, what happened to Robert? I hope he's coming back. And so before he joins us back, Ralph, what do you think about that? The opportunities that are available to us as diaspora right now?
Yeah, I think there's something you've really hit that is very, very timely. You know, when we look at the conventional investing that has been going on within the diaspora Kenyan community here, we have just been talking about investing in assets in Kenya, especially land, buying plots,
yes,
and building and those kind of things. But I think the narrative has actually changed, whereby we really have to take care of our financial status, even within this country itself. Investing in the stock exchange is a very big opportunity that we do have that we do not really touch as we should. And I'm happy we have Robert here. I'm sure he's going to touch a lot on what we have certainly discovered in Kenya while we are here, in terms of trying to get into that pie of being a part of the investing community that is getting into the stock exchange in Kenya, and at the same time trying to also see if we can also invest in the US. So yes, it's true. The time has come to do that, because if we don't do that, then what are we doing? Something is a big disconnect. Yes. And also,
Correct.
you know, if I may also add on to that, probably with what Robert has been able to do with the Bojani community, he has been able to bring the global Kenyan. It's not just the Kenyans also here. We have Kenyans also in Europe who are part of that, who have also started investing in the stock exchange in Kenya. And then now what has happened is that has now changed again. It has come back to the US, where now we've also become a larger part of the stock exchange here, where we've found other Kenyans also doing very well in terms of getting into that pie and creating wealth for people out here. We'll talk about that as we move along, but of course, Robert is back on the call. So let me yield the moment for now. Yes.
All right, Robert. Thank you. So Robert, thank you so much. So let's talk about Abojani. What should we expect? What would a person who is watching us right now and wondering, okay, who is Abojani? What are they with diaspora? Tell us. Give us a snippet of what somebody would experience being an Abojani investor.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lucy, for having me. So basically at Abojani, what we realized is that there are so many people in the world. Like you can say we have over 7 billion people, but not everyone has gone to school and have some PhD in finance. They don't have BCom and things like that. So we decided to create a community of people who are guided by experts so that they can help themselves from a personal finance point of view and organize their finances, ensure that they have emergency funds. Then with that, they create a level of abundance to start investing. Because of course you can't start investing if you don't know what you're going to eat in the evening. So it is a journey, and we look at it to be as important as everything else in life, just as important as oxygen. So we used to think that was a joke until last year COVID came and people realized that the emergency fund is what can take care of them. So finance is like your life partner, very silent there until something happens. It could be that you'll have an emergency or at your retirement age, when now your finance will take care of you. So we walk the journey with members in our community to look at investment opportunities and ensure that they are well diversified. Because at the end of the game, we want people to look at cash flows, because we have this culture locally whereby we like to be asset rich, but cash flow poor. So you can have as many plots as possible, sometimes even 40 pieces of land, but you are very sick and it's not very easy to dispose these investments. So if you have investments in the capital market, usually they're very liquid and you can dispose them, and that will help you to achieve whatever goal that you had in mind. So to demystify this, we have financial education, which we do in a layperson's language. And we are very, very resilient and we persevere in terms of answering questions. And our biggest strength is being available to assist you at any given times through chats, through calls, and even over the weekends. Because the unfortunate thing for entrepreneurs and those who work, like those who are employed, when you are working actually is when the stock market is opened and capital markets in general. So when you come back home in the evening, you are tired and maybe you are into some other things. So we need to open our eyes and work around this system and be part of the larger growth, which we actually contribute to. When you are working somewhere or when you are doing business or when you are a consumer, you are driving to work, the fuel that you're using, those companies somewhere, somehow, they're part of the capital markets. So you can be both a consumer and an investor. And now we guide people to be that.
Fantastic. So talk about somebody who is, talk about the why investing in a diversified portfolio would be helpful, and tell us what that would look like.
Yeah, so when you look at investing, investing is basically, we say that investing is the goose that lays the golden egg. So you have life goals, the things that you want to achieve in your life. So you plan yourself, and when investing, we are trying as much as possible to be successful. So you're not just investing for the sake of it, it's because we have life goals. So we want to retire. We know that these days, with innovation in the healthcare sector, we are living longer. And living longer means that you might have to work longer days or hours or years. And after retiring, you need something to take care of you. So when you are working, we say that you have a lot of human capital. But after that, your financial capital should be able to take care of you. So we have to look ahead and see the days that are coming. It might be a raining day, or it might be a rainy day. And we also have a friend known as inflation, which basically takes your wealth if it is not invested. So like currently in Kenya, the inflation rate is 5.8%. So that simply means that if you have 100,000 Kenya shillings at the beginning of the year, at the end of the year, you'll have lost 5,800 Kenya shillings. You won't know that today, but a few years from now, you'll find that you are not able to afford things that you could afford before. So basically, you are losing value in terms of your lifestyle affordability. So people have different goals. So those goals are very personal, and I want us to take note. The first thing that you should know about personal finance is that it is very personal, very, very personal. So you have to look at the things that you want for yourself, your life goals, whether it is your family that you want to build, whether you have dreams of building a house in the years to come, or to retire at some point in time, start a business, own a car, all those dreams that you have, that the things that now make us invest, so that investment can accelerate our journey towards our life goals. So it's very important that you set your own journey so that you are not distracted with other people. We call the distractions IOP, so that is impressing other people. So you can impress people, but at the end of the day, when an emergency comes, you are on your own. So we had people who lost their jobs during COVID, and they realized how important it is to set your journey and be able to have a level of abundance in terms of setting aside part of your income, because it will help you when you have an emergency, and it will also help you to live the life that you want. And studies have shown that if you do well in terms of organizing your life and personal finances, it is likely to increase your quality of life. So you can say that money doesn't matter, but someone in problem or someone who doesn't have money, money matters to them. And if you've never been in that situation, maybe you don't know. So it's very important that you look at money that way.
Yes. And so as a diaspora, integrity and being able to access information is very important. So where do I start as a diaspora who has never invested in the stock exchange, or two, I'm weary, even though I'm not sure why I am afraid? Where do I start? Where can I get this information?
So when we look at the capital markets, the first thing that we need to know is that the financial markets, they move the world, and finance in general moves the world. Everything that we are doing is somehow connected to finances, whether it is at country level, household level, company level, even for non-profit organizations. Finance matters, so we have the financial markets. So for us at Abojani, we came up with a framework whereby you look at it from 3 dimensions. So there are 3 pillars of finance. So the first for an individual is your mindset, which now is a battle between you and your mind, just deciding that you want to set aside part of your income. So that is very important. Even before you come to the stock market, you should decide that every month I'm going to set aside part of my income, a certain percentage of my income. It is recommended that you do at least 20, but if you can't do that, anything that you have for a start is good enough. So with the mindset, you'll have a long-term view of saving and investing. So with that, that is still not enough, because you can be a very good saver, but you don't have a lot of knowledge when it comes to the financial markets. So that one will be very ripe for scammers and bad guys who will come to take advantage of you. Because of that, we have the second pillar known as the skill set. So the skill set is understanding what is out there and how to use it to help you achieve your financial goals, and also knowing what not to do. For example, a credit score is very important. It talks about your integrity and just your ability to honor your financial obligations. So when you look at the financial markets, of course, you need to have a bank account where your income comes into. Then from there, the amount of money that you set aside, you want to look at the available investment options. So like in Kenya, you have the money markets. So money markets, they're usually very good for a start if you want to start your journey and be consistent, because that being consistent is very important before you can even look at other investment options. So money market is very important here. The rates are quite good, very high, above the inflation rate, currently at 9%. So over time, we've seen people, they save consistently such that at the end of the year, they have even 1 million Kenya shillings, and the interest that comes is about 80,000 Kenya shillings. And now they take that 80,000 Kenya shillings and try out other investments like the stock market. So these people are learning the art of building wealth, and it is a journey. So once now you've decided that you are going to invest in the stock market, you need to know 3 key organizations here in Kenya. So the first one is the Capital Markets Authority, which is the regulator. So if you want to invest in the capital markets, it's very important to know the CMA. So CMA is Capital Markets Authority, and they oversee all operations in the capital markets. And anything that you own in the capital markets will be under your name. So if you are to invest back home, it will be under your name as Dr. Lucy Mackenzie. So that's another advantage. And when we're looking at the capital markets, you own company and your money will be working for you 24 hours, 7 days in a week. So when you hear the great stories about Safaricom, British American Tobacco, Britam, Jubilee Holdings or Jubilee Insurance, so when you hear those great stories, the CEO and his team working very hard, if you are a shareholder, they're doing that for you as one of the stakeholders, and you'll enjoy the benefits of that hard work. So another good or great thing about owning assets in the financial markets is that they are fairly liquid, and most of them you can liquidate within a day to 1 week. So that's another added advantage. And no one will know that you own the stocks at the NSE. You don't have, unless you tell them. So that's also something that is very good, because if you own a physical asset, sometimes everyone can know and even be able to estimate your net worth. So that's a very good thing that you have. So if you have investments in the capital markets, you've seen that they give returns above the bank savings accounts. And that is, again, over the inflation rate. So once you've decided that you are going to do capital markets, the CMA is very important, because from their website, you know all the capital markets players. So it's quite easy. So whenever you go to do a Google search to look for a piece of land, there's no portal where you have all pieces of land registered in Kenya. But for capital markets, you have a portal where all these assets are, and you can see the genuine assets. So after knowing the capital market, you need to know the market. So our marketplace here in Kenya for capital markets and the stocks is known as Nairobi Securities Exchange. So that is where you can buy and sell shares. So Nairobi Securities Exchange, they work closely with an organization known as Central Depository Settlement Corporation. So what they do is that they enable you to open investment accounts, whereby an investment account is just like your bank account for investing. So the CDSC, which is the Central Depository Settlement Corporation, they have agents. Of course, they can't be everywhere to serve all of us. So because of that, they have agents. And now these agents are the ones we call investment banks or stock brokerage firms. So through the investment banks and stock brokerage firms, we are now able to connect to the Nairobi Securities Exchange. You can't connect directly. So you connect through these agents, start by opening an investment account. So because of COVID and even before that, we had started going digital, and currently you'll be able to do that online. You'll just need your personal identification documents like national ID or passport, the KRA, so that is your tax PIN, and a few details that you'll feel like your address and your bank account where you'll be transferring money to an investment account. So with that, you'll get started and be part of the growth that we are seeing here in Kenya. So I can give you a good example. in 1996. So probably most of us who are connected here, irrespective of our age, will see that it is quite a long time ago, over 24 years ago. So we had only 1 million bank accounts in Kenya. But as we speak, we have 62 million bank accounts. So just see that growth. And banks are still growing. So it means that if you invest in quality banks, then you'll be part of the growth that we are seeing. So in terms of telecommunication, mobile accounts, there are about only 20,000 in the year 2000. But as we speak, there are over 50 million mobile bank accounts. And the customers are making calls, they're using mobile data. So these stories, they're great. We see them in the HBR, the Harvard Business Review. People are talking about Kenya as a growth frontier when it comes to financial services. So when you invest, you are simply plugging in and tagging along and going with that growth to be part of it. Yeah, so that is basically how you start. And to start is really easy. And usually we encourage people that the main disadvantage of finance is that each and every person will have an opinion. And there are so many nice things to know. If you open CNBC today, Bloomberg, there are so many nice things to know, but there'll be no difference if you don't do anything. So the people who set themselves apart, they're the people who invest. And like we said, investing is the goose that lays the golden egg. So as we are thinking about investing and not doing anything, the person who invested, they're already getting dividends. So we've seen very good dividends being given by companies like British American Tobacco. So that person is already earning interest on their investments. And next year, the interest that they earn this year will again earn them more interest. So they're just growing and growing. So there's no time to wait. It's very important that at the end of the day, you make the decision to act and open the CDS account, put in some little money and see how it goes so that you can be part of the growth.
Fantastic. So as a diaspora, there are portals that we can go to that are online and be able to open a CDS account, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can share my screen and show you.
So please do. And then we will shift to Ralph and hear his experience.
Thank you, Lucy. Dr. Lucy. Yes, I'm a part of the Abojani community. It has been a pleasant journey being a part of that community. It has been very gainful. It has been very, very enriching. And it has made my home going to Kenya very, very easy because being a person who has been in the diaspora for more than 20 years, sometimes you lose the traction of knowing exactly where you're going to get started or what you're going to be a part of. But Robert has made this very easy in so many ways because he has this channel that shares a lot of the goings on locally in Kenya in terms of where to invest. So it's been a good journey. I can tell you that for a fact. And to have him here, I think it's been very, very helpful because what has happened is being a part of his networks. I've come to meet a lot of people because the networks that he has at home are huge. They're significant. And he's also quite a consultant at home in many matters that are business related. I just didn't get to know him just the other day. I actually, because I do a lot of research, I read a lot because of what you do as the Diaspora Circle members, community leaders here. We have to find opportunities for our members on what they need to get invested in. So I found Robert through some media outlet in Kenya where he was actually being interviewed. And then I started seeing him in the Business Daily, because I get that every day. Then I went to Kenya last year, sometime in January. I had a sitting with him in my office in Upper Hill. And we said we're going to work on something that is going to introduce this narrative to the diaspora community here. I'm glad to see this sitting because, of course, time has elapsed since that time. We're talking about a year later, but at least the conversation is still on and it's ongoing. And through that learning, through Abojani, I've also moved up, whereby now I've also come to realize that there's the larger financial market in the US, where the basics of what Abojani has taught me are what I can actually see in the stock market here, for example. And in the process, I moved out and I ended up being a part of the Pete and Pete investors, who now are a group of Kenyans here who also help Kenyans learn how to invest in the stock exchange out here. So me and Robert are part of that community also. So you can actually see there's something growing within us whereby we are saying as Kenyans, it's time now to start changing that narrative of being those investors on the normal things that we've always known to learning what is new in the markets, both in Kenya and in the US, and learn how to make this money, because that's where the money is right now. So Abojani has done a lot. And through Abojani, the morphing up into the world business opportunities out here through that organization, Pete and Pete, I think we are moving off to a good start. So again, you can even hear what he's actually talking about, just how to be a part of that investing community out there. From here, you can do a lot of things. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
And so tell us a little bit about your experience when it came to the learning process. What was your experience like? Because you can't just go now, you've got money, I've got this pile of money, I'm just, they said the Nairobi Securities Exchange is where we need to put all our money. Did you have some type of training with Abojani?
That's very important what you've actually said. You know, with Abojani from the US, it's very difficult to know what is going on at home unless you are held by somebody who knows and understands that market very well. I've taken advantage of Robert. I have. And I've become a part of his community. He has a very big network of investors in that part of the world. And in his forums, he normally teaches people how to invest and figure out what the investing trends are. There's a lot of learning, really, and it's all the same, even when you look at what we have here in the US. He uses the same principles of knowing how to invest out there. And through him, I've actually been able to get a brokerage account with a stockbroker in Kenya, whereby I actually invest directly from here. So the portfolio has actually grown, whereby, you know, I know what to invest in because of what we communicate through his forums to know what to go for and what not to go for. That has been very, very helpful. So in a way, I don't need to go scouting when I get back to Kenya on where I need to get started, because I already have a head start as a diaspora person, which is what has been missing for a long time. So these dots of connecting what we have locally in Kenya professionally and what we also have here can also help us change the narrative of exactly what we need to get into in terms of investing in the stock exchange and these kind of financial markets. We have the expertise within us, you know, and we cannot go wrong. I mean, it's just a matter of sharing, like what you've actually decided to do, to let us know that there are institutions within us that can help us get to the next level. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. As an example, us as SACCO people, there are certain things we've been able to do very, very well, but that's not it. There's so much out there that we have no control of, that we have to start having these partnerships and incorporate all of us together, because when we all work together, when we all introduce these products to our members and our Kenyan community, I think it's going to be a win-win situation. Just like you said when we were beginning the conversation, how good would it be for all of us to have financial resources within us that can actually make us invest and throw away the people who are actually using Kenya in a bad way? We can use our own funds to do a lot of things in Kenya. So the opportunity is here. Thank you.
Yes. And I think that the time is, you know, I think if you have not woken up to realize this is the time, it's time to wake up if you're in the diaspora. And you can invest whether you're in the diaspora, where you are, or you can invest here. But not investing is not one of the choices you need to make. So if the diaspora community would be financially literate and have enough resources, all these buildings that come up in the CBD area, we would be the ones buying them, not some company in Switzerland or some other foreign country. We would be the investors, because
the more wealth we are able to create, as Robert has mentioned, the golden, the goose that lays the golden egg, we need to be in that forum where our eggs are golden every single time and they're multiplying, and we are learning that we can move money from my earnings in my money market fund and put it in the in the securities exchange, but in a very well advised forum. I am not losing anything. I'm not creating new money. It's money that I've already made in the money market as my interest, and pulling it out and putting it in the Nairobi Securities Exchange. This is new money that I didn't have to come out of pocket. So let us begin to look at our wealth, how we are building wealth in different ways, and not necessarily in just buying plots. Robert, let's go back to you, and you have something on your screen that you've shared. Please talk about that.
Yeah, so basically, when you are in the diaspora, it is very good to deal with the organizations that run capital markets in Kenya. So the first site is the Nairobi Securities Exchange. So it is nse.co.ke. So if you come here, you'll see all the listed companies. So if anyone comes to you tomorrow and they tell you that I have this company, I'm selling its shares. So the first place to go to is to check here, because all publicly listed companies are available here at the NSE website. So they are in different categories. So again, when you come here, you need to make a connection. What is your view about the agriculture sector? So we know very well that people need food. So it is important to see if you can make that connection and find some of the best companies in that category that you can invest in. Again, we are very well known for coffee and tea. So all this pride that you have, you can't maybe invest in athletics, for example, but you can invest in the fact that we export a lot of tea and coffee. It's all here for us. The banks, again, they are very big here in Kenya. So we've seen a lot of growth. Some international companies are coming to benchmark with local banks like Equity, KCB, for what they've done in mobile banking. They're all here for us to take advantage of. And when you want to look at the 10 largest companies in size, as at the end of last year, we had Safaricom is the largest one. Then you have Equity, EABL, Coop Bank, British American Tobacco. We have ABSA. So maybe you left Kenya when it was called Barclays, but basically it's the same brand. They just rebranded. So we have NIC Bank and Commercial Bank of Africa. They merged, so now they're known as NCBA. So such kind of information you need to know, because you might come back to Kenya and find that maybe there's no Uchumi, or the bank that you used to know has merged with another one. But this information is available in platforms such as Business Daily, which is owned by the Nation Media Group. We also have A&M as a very, as a very big brand here in Kenya. Standard Chartered, you know it globally, so it's very big here in Kenya as an investment, and they pay very good dividends. So once you come to the NSE website, the next organization you need to know is the Central Depository and Settlement Corporation. So here is where your investment account will be, just that now you open it through the stockbrokers and investment banks. So these are very important website. If you left Kenya with an investment account and you can't trace it, they are the people to contact so that they can guide you. And they have a list of all the players that you can connect with and open an investment account. Then the next one is the Capital Markets Authority. So they are the regulators. So here they share and send you information that you can come and check. There's investor education, licensed players. So before you do any investment in money market or the stock market, the first place to come to again is here, so that you can see the genuine players to deal with. Periodically, they also share statistics that can show you the performance of the market, the companies that are doing well, changes in the various companies. So that information is also available in this portal. So once you've come here, now if you want to get regular updates, another important website that you have is known as mystocks.co.ke. So you can see the performance of the companies. Currently, Safaricom, its market capitalization is actually 1.55 trillion Kenya shillings. So that is like 50% of our national budget as a country. And these are companies that just started, it was established in the year 2000, just 20 years as we speak. So the growth has been immense. They listed in the year 2008 at 5 Kenya shillings per share. As we speak now, they are trading at 38 Kenya shillings. So people have gotten 7 times their initial investments. And in terms of dividends over their lifetime, they've paid over 8 Kenya shillings. So if you add that, is over 9 times returns. And the US companies, the fund managers, they have a piece of Safaricom. Yeah, so we've been missing in that as locals, because currently between 65 to 75% of investment in the market in terms of daily trades in the Kenyan market is controlled by foreigners, yet there are very few in number. So we spend money in Safaricom in terms of the revenues, which the last time they announced came in at 262 billion. So that is all from Kenyans. But in terms of investment, it is the foreigners who are enjoying these golden eggs that Safaricom keeps laying. Yeah, so that's quite a challenge to us. We have big brands, Equity. Currently, their market capitalization is over 143 billion. So they're doing very well. They recently invested in DRC Congo, and they've become the first bank in Kenya to have assets worth over 1 trillion Kenya shillings. So these are things that you could not believe maybe 14 years ago, since Equity became a bank only in the year 2004. But as we speak now, they're the biggest in terms of assets. So the growth has been real. It's just for us to make a connection and see how important these brands are in the lives of Kenya and our economies. Because again, if you want to look at Africa, we are number 6. So out of 52, despite the challenges that you might have, we are number 6, and that's a very big deal. It means that so many people have got their eyes on Kenya in terms of investments. And the more they keep on investing, the more we are likely to lose. So if we get in early and grow with companies, so just imagine someone who invested in Safaricom at 5 Kenya shillings. So as the foreigners come and take the piece of pie, they'll be part of that growth, because foreigners have more capital than us. And what we usually say, that there has been a misconception locally where people say that people from outside Kenya don't fund Kenyans. But we say for capital, each country has to build their own. So you have to invest in our stock market so that our startups can get funding. And for parents, the challenge is that usually in most countries, it is the parents who fund their children with money to start businesses. So it's not strangers. So parents have to work very hard so that they set aside part of their income, so that in later years, if the child needs just 100,000 Kenya shillings to start a business and you have 400,000, it means that they have a margin of error. But if you have nothing, it means that the margin of error is so low, and that means that you won't have many people starting businesses, because business is about risk taking. So even within our startup ecosystem, we have what is known as family offices. So we have people from outside Kenya who come to invest in our startups. So it is about time. We saw that Jumia, which has a presence in Africa, it went to be listed in the New York Stock Exchange. So other people came, funded it here, consumption is from us, then they went to list it in the New York Stock Exchange, and we are not part of it at all. So that's a very, very big challenge to us, that the current generation, we have to be the bridge builders to the future generation. So whenever you move from Nairobi to Thika, there's a river there, but someone built a bridge to connect Nairobi to Thika. So we are the generation to connect the younger people to the future, so that they can have more capital for startups. We can have more capital for infrastructure projects, because currently we can't afford to do that. So the challenge is on us to get started, because there's time, and the best time to start is now. If you look at the global operations, you've seen companies like General Electric. They used to be very big, but now they've been overtaken by technology companies such as Facebook. So that is a global phenomenon that is happening everywhere. In terms of trends, things shifting, now you see Safaricom is very big, banks have become very big, and even local banks, they've become even bigger than foreign banks. So the trends are always there for us as investors. That's where Raf said that education is very important and getting to know these changes, because sometimes some brands disappear from the markets. So again, you need to be constantly monitoring at least every 6 months. When they announce the results, you see how the finances are coming up, what are their revenues, what are the opportunities that are there for you as an investor.
Fantastic. And so our viewers, just to put something in perspective, when Robert spoke about the Safaricom share, it is trading at about 38, 39 shillings. That is 38 cents. If you're in diaspora, if you're in America, or if you're even in Canada, 38 cents. So for every dollar, you can buy 3 shares almost. So for every $10, you have a handful of shares. So it is not, the cost is so reasonable. There is absolutely no reason why we should not be partaking of this. You send in, I call you and I tell you, hey, by the way, I need money for XYZ. You send me $100, right? That $100, you don't even think about it. And that $100, if you were to send it here to buy you shares, that's 10. Let's even go with the 10. $100 100 shillings per dollar. For that 10,000. My goodness, you would be buying almost 2,000 shares. Is that right, Robert?
Yeah, so it will be quite a lot for Safaricom if you have 10,000 Kenya shillings.
No, 200. You will have you would have at least 260 something shares for just $100. And if you keep yourself at a target and keep saying, I want to build this to 1,000 shares, you'll do that in four installments. $400 will give you 1,000 shares. So it's not, we're not talking about a whole bunch of money for you to get started. So Robert, tell us about your classes. How do, like now I'm so interested, I'm all psyched up. Is there a class coming up? And how do I sign up?
So we have a class coming up actually from Monday next week, that is 8th of this month. And we'll be looking at personal finance first, because basically you want to put the house in order. Once you put your house in order is when you can have extra money to invest in the stock market. So it is a journey. So after the personal finance part, now we get into the money market, then we move into the stock market. So the class runs for 3 weeks. And with that, at the end of it all, you'll have the sources of information, where to get information, where to invest, and we'll also be there to hold you. And the good thing is that everything will be under your name. So no one will own anything under your name, and you can manage it from the US. So that's important. So for you to subscribe to our class, you go to our website, which is abojani.com. So under abojani.com, you'll click join today. Then you go to the master.
Are you able to share that?
Yes, yeah, so just a minute, let me share. So our website is abojani.com. So for those who don't know Abojani, so the name Abojani actually, A comes from African, B is bright, then O is oasis. Then Jani, as we know, is Majani from green. So basically, it is the brightness that is shown upon the desert that turns everything green. So you want your investment account to turn green and give you good returns. So once you come to our website, you'll go to join today. Then under packages, you go to the masterclass. Once you come to that, you'll click join now. So when you click join now, we have a special offer for you that will last in the next 24 hours. So once you put in your details, you'll put in the code Diaspora 2021 as the discount code. So with that, you'll get a discount of 10% from our offering. So once you click that, it will come to 2,700. So we've trained over 5,000 people and the results have been amazing for us. So people have been able to do amazing things, even people who are not from the financial services sector or background, like doctors, usually they are very busy. So professionally, most people are busy. And we help them to demystify finance in a very simple language so that they can be part of this growth. Because we realize that after all is said and done is what we set aside that will matter. So what you set aside, you can use it to make some investments. You can use it to take your children to school, to buy a car, start a business, and invest in Safaricom, so that when we are talking about this growth of Safaricom, is not just a story. It's something that you can relate with, whether you are a chama or a circle, like US Diaspora Circle, KNAD, or an individual, a household. So you can actually look at the TV, see Safaricom advert, and say, yes, I'm expecting some dividends coming up next week. Like now, they're going to pay dividends worth 18 billion Kenya shillings for those who will be owning the shares as at 5th of this month. So it's just this week. So 18 billion Kenya shillings at the peak of the pandemic, it shows you that this company is very, very resilient. Yeah, and it's all happening here in Kenya.
Great. So Ralph, tell us about the experience as a diasporan. Was the class convenient for most people who are in the diaspora when you took your cohort?
Yes, I think the experience has been very, very gainful in more ways than one, because again, there's something Robert said when he began speaking, when he said an individual's interest in wanting to be a part of the investing community is paramount. You have to have the interest of being a part of this investing, because there's a lot to learn. And this is money that you're talking about. We are talking about resources that are very limited. I mean, we might say there's so much here, but again, there's no point of earning money and then it goes down the drain. So for me, the journey has been pleasant, because what has happened is I have learned a lot about the Kenyan financial system through Abojani. I've learned about what to watch for in terms of the literature that he shares in that platform about what is trending. Because again, when we're here in the diaspora, we are so busy in our own confines and what we do. You need experts who are in those fields to give you a speck of what is actually going on. And then you also go ahead and do your own research and understand why the markets are running the way they're running. Being in tune with what is happening out there is also very important in terms of reading newspapers, for example, the Business Daily, if you get a moment to get into that, and listening to what is actually happening, because again, it's become a global village where we can actually see what is happening in Kenya almost any second, anytime, any day. But again, you need experts to do this for you, and that's where Robert comes into play. So I used him to improve on what I knew. Remember, I said I left Kenya more than 20 years ago. So I had investments at the time.
Yes.
I had shares. And I wouldn't lie. I had the shares even with organizations like Kenya Airways. Back then, they had such a value, but you can imagine where we are right about now. So through them, I've actually known what to be a part of and invest in. Then as a diasporan, because again, I have this exposure of where I live, I have morphed up and actually started learning much more about what I see on MSNBC and those CNBC channels where you see those graphs running up and down. You know, I never used to know how to read those diagrams. I mean, I could hear the stock market has gone up, it's gone down. I would not even be able to understand the fundamentals or even understand what those charts are, you know? So through Abojani, my journey has been enriched because I know what to think about when it comes to local investing in Kenya. And now because I'm a diaspora person here, he has enabled me now to think more globally in terms of investing in the biggest market globally. I mean, you're talking about companies
Yes.
here that have such a high volume of trade compared to what we have in Kenya, you know, where now we have to be a part of also this economy over here, you know. So
Yes.
so because of that also, I've become very good in those charts. I've become good in trying to understand how the stock market works here. And it's also through training also, because you need to have a hand that will help you understand how to do this particular work. So now I've gotten into that. So I can say I'm a well-rounded person, both here and in Kenya, thanks to Abojani. And of course, I'll keep on saying this. There's this Kenyan community that is out here in the US that also helps you understand what is globally out here. And that information can be
Yes.
shared later. But again, through Robert, let's first of all take care of that. And then we can always talk about that as the moment goes on. But there's every opportunity for us. We cannot be complacent and say that $100, and I've always been preaching this, I've said it many times over, that $40 that you're putting in the fuel tank to go nowhere is the kind of money that you
Yes.
need to invest in Nairobi and get those shares. You will have money at some point. I get dividends. In fact, I have a check here for the dividends Robert is talking about. I got one here last week, quite some good money. So we can be a part of the Kenyan narrative even while we're here. So let's do it. There's no question about it. It's time. It's time. Thank you.
And thanks, Rob. And I remember, Robert, when we were talking last year about British American tobacco, it was at an
Yes.
all-time low of 303 shillings. What is it trading at today?
As we speak now, it is trading to close to 500 Kenya shillings, so between 480 to 500, and they've issued a dividend of for the full year 45 Kenya shillings. So if you look at the lowest price, that's over 10% in dividend alone, and that has happened in the shortest span of less than a year. So the importance of being in a community is that you learn not to panic, because most people, some circles, they panicked last year because of COVID and they sold their shares at a loss. These shares have recovered. So one thing that I want us to know also is that the market here is maturing. So currently, for the first time, we have Safaricom, EABL, and the British American Tobacco, the three of them having Kenyans as their CEOs. So when this year began, British American Tobacco is trading at around 360. As we speak, it is trading at 480 to 400 to 500. So it has gained more than 34% just in 2021 because of the good dividends that they're giving. So there's a lot of opportunities. And Safaricom, when the CEO came in last year, Kenyan, Mr. Peter Ndegwa, that was on the 1st of April 2020, it was trading at 26 Kenyan shillings. So as we speak, it is trading at 38. So that's close to 50% gain just in a span of 1 year. So our community will help you to know that things like Corona, they'll be there, but at the end of it all, you should ask yourself, are you still using Safaricom product? Are people still consuming these products? Are they using Amazon, Apple product, things like that? So because of that, people who are experiencing the stock market and who are in communities, they didn't sell. In fact, they usually say that you buy when the streets are red. So when everything is going down and the world is falling apart is when good investors take advantage. So that mindset, it is built over time, and you can't fake it. You have to start. Then you learn that I didn't sell yesterday and today the share price has gone up. So with that, you build the right mindset to become a very, very good investor. So these are mistakes that you can avoid because other people have made them and we can learn from them and be better investors.
Fantastic. So I know you talked about the class. Do you have a story of a student who came, and not Ralph, another student who has joined the Abujani community and you personally have seen significant benefits for them having taken the class?
Yes, so we have a student who is a business person in Thika. So they came to Abojani in 2019 and they told us that they've been doing a lot of investment because their family, their mom used to invest a lot in the stock market. So they are very, very good investors, but things changed and they are not monitoring. Companies like Mumias, Uchumi, Kenya Airways. So when they came to Abojani, we helped them to restructure their portfolio. So they went big on Safaricom and some banking stocks. And just before COVID, by the last year, from 2019 to beginning of 2020, the stock market here in Kenya did very well. And they made their first money in the stock market. So they are very happy. They've learned even now to reinvest all the dividends that they get. So the dividends, they're not supposed to be spent because they're supposed to earn you more money in the future. So these days when they get the dividends, and because we have accountability, when the dividends check in, we check with everyone, what's up, what's going on, what are you doing with the dividends? So they'll say that I'm reinvesting in this company. So because of that, they've been able to own more shares. And usually when there are opportunities in the market, they're able to invest, because business people, sometimes they get a lot of money and they don't know what to do with. And they find that money keeps coming and going. So they become a very, very successful investors within the last 2 years.
Okay. And so when people talk about, I want to build my personal savings as opposed to having a personal investment account, what would you say to that?
Okay, the best example that I can give on that is that back then, let's say the year 2004, a loaf of bread was going for 20 Kenyan shillings. So if you had 20 Kenyan shillings and you put it under a mattress, it would still be 20 Kenyan shillings now. But if you had invested it in the stock market or money market with just interest of 8% per year, you'd get over 80 Kenyan shillings and you'd still be able to afford that loaf of bread. So if you are putting your investments in accounts that earn less than the inflation rate, you are actually losing money by saving. So it's a reality that down the line, you'll just realize that you can't afford things that you were able to afford before. So that's very, very important. So as the price of goods and services go up, also your investments need to be working for you. So it's very, very important to look at investment opportunities that are likely to gain more than the inflation rate. And the stock market in general has given between 10 to 15% over the years if you select good companies that are doing great in terms of business growth and strategies.
Talk about the rule of 72.
Yeah, so the rule of 72 is a very good rule. So recently we challenged one of our members who had a baby. So we are telling them that the rule of 72, it works magic, because what it means is that if let's say money market in Kenya, the returns are 9% per annum, it means that if you take 72, you divide by 9, you get 8. It means that for every 8 years, that investment will be doubling. So you can give them a birthday gift of 100,000 Kenya shillings. So it means that by the 8th year, that money will be 200,000 Kenya shillings. By the time they're 16 years old, it will be 400,000 now, because the 200 will have doubled. So the rule of 72 is very great. You take 72 divided by the interest that you are getting on an investment. And that means that it will take that number of years for the investment to double. So once you have that mentality and you have that knowledge and information, it will be very easy to stick to your goal, because you have a vision and you know where you are headed. It's only a car that knows where it goes that reaches its destination. Otherwise, you'll be distracted. There are a lot of distraction. There's betting, and also there are friends and relatives ready to take advantage of you. We call them setting boundaries. So you need to set boundaries. Within your budget, you can still help people, but you need to know that you can only do so much, because money is an unlimited or a finite resource. So you don't have, even the richest person in the world, they have only so much. So whatever you have, you can help other people, but also help yourself. Because if an emergency comes up or in your retirement age, there's no single person in this world who is guaranteed to help you. So it's only you. So the challenge is on each and every one of us to learn these skills and apply, because with knowledge, you'll be very focused and you'll be very, very, very self-driven. So because of that, we've been setting some challenges. Like last year, we challenged our members, community members, into a challenge known as 1 million, whereby they were attempting to save consistently so that they can reach at least $10,000, which is 1 million Kenya shillings. So 39 people, they were able to achieve that. And they said that for 2021 now, they're setting the bar high. So we are calling it leveling up challenge. So you see, if you know where you are going, it is very easy and you'll have so much energy. You'll be very, very self-driven. And that's how people have been able to achieve a lot when it comes to investment. Because if you don't have any direction, it will just be today is, let's say, Monday, tomorrow is Tuesday, and nothing really matters. But if you have focus, you can actually have idea where you'll be in 2022, and you can accelerate that because you can set a system where you say that if I get $1,000 that I didn't expect, I'll have the courage to put aside, let's say, $800, and then $200 I can do with it whatever I want. So you'll already have systems in place to accelerate the growth of your investments and wealth. But if you don't have any system in place, whatever amount of money that comes, whether it is $10,000, $1,000, $100, it will just be growing legs because anyway, money that is not well planned for just grows legs.
Yes, that is great advice. So, Ralph, what would you tell our viewers as your parting shots as we are coming to an end? What would you say to somebody who's watching in the diaspora? And diaspora is everybody who's outside Kenya. Even if you're in Uganda, you are in the diaspora. What would you tell somebody who's out here trying to figure out, is this something that I should do?
That's very important for people out in the diaspora to realize that number one, you don't have a lot of time left to waste. The resources that we're getting over here, we have to really plan for them in such a way that we diversify and figure out what it is that we need to do and at what time. I have this golden rule in my life that has worked very well. I normally say that I have to change my systems every 10 years. I cannot keep on doing the same things. The things that I did 10 years and carry them forward to the following 10 years. It can't work because again, we're getting older by the day. Number two, the energies we had back in the day are not the kind of energies we have today. So we have to be smart in what we are thinking about and what we are trying to do. So what I'll tell my colleagues out in the diaspora is just this plain and simple. You have heard from forums such as this on the opportunities that are available. There's no point of going out making a lot of noise. Just jump in and get into the bandwagon. Find out what Robert does with Abojani and grow within the systems. A journey of 1,000 steps begins. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. That baby step that you're going to make with him, with the kind of monies we have out here, will help you invest heavily in Kenya and turn around still and come back to the US and be a part of the growth. That there's a lot of wealth in this country that we have not even tapped into, that we need to get into and be a part of. It is important we hold Abojani close and get in there and get to learn the financial literacies of what we need to do when it comes to investing financially on those products that we do not know. Again, like I said, we cannot be jacks of all trades. I mean, we are good at what we do. We need professional help to put us where we need to get to in line with our aging processes or even the retirement phases where some of us are getting into. And then we diversify and make sure that also within where we are forming these partnerships that are cohesive and working together. For example, you as KNADS, us as the KUDS SACCO, we can also come up with some programs within us that are beneficial to all these thousands of members that we do have, for them now to be a part of and form stronger partnerships with like-minded institutions around here that can help them morph out and get wealth, the way wealth needs to be created. It's not about competition. We can't compete. The pie is so big. There's so much for all of us. The best thing to do is to get together and explore this world together and find out the best way which we can use, which we can actually use to get to where we need to get to. Again, as I finish, I just want to thank you, Lucy, for organizing this forum, for bringing us together, for also introducing Robert onto this forum. Robert is a very reliable person to be a part of when it comes to investing in Kenya. I have done it myself. I am a happy investor because of Robert. I sleep and I know what is going on out there. If I have any issue, I'll call him and I'll find out from our forum what is actually going on. Then beyond Robert, who is now also a part of the US community here in terms of, this is a global figure, by the way. He has morphed out from all that and actually come over to the US. I mean, he's also a part of what you do here through an organization that we call Pete and Pete Investors, who are also very good in this kind of investing out here in the US. So we can all hold hands together and just build our wealth together. So again, Robert, very nice seeing you. Thank you for being a part of our diaspora. Like I said, you're the one who wakes us up very early in the morning when you have your training sessions. So I'm glad we woke you up early before morning in Kenya to talk to us. So karibu sana, and thank you for what you do. Our love to the Kenyan community. We are one wherever we are. So let them know that this community here is going to be a part of it. I can tell the force is actually coming that way, because I think there are questions on Facebook somewhere. So I'm sure there's information that is going to flow that way. And when you get to us, he's not an ordinary Kenyan, this one, because he knows how to treat us the way we like being treated. We like things being done on the spot. The Russians call it Sputnik, that's speed. So he will handle all of our issues as they should be handled. And I don't think we're going to regret this. So again, thank you for this. And it's been nice being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Ram.
Fantastic. Have you seen any questions that Robert can answer quickly on, because I'm not looking at my Facebook page, so I don't know what specific questions people have. And Robert, obviously, you can go back there and answer questions. Again, we love it that you're giving us a discount for the next 24 hours to join the community. So Robert, as we are concluding, what would you have to say to us?
I think what I would have to say to you is that I'd challenge you, because if you look at the diaspora remittances for 2020, that money is actually worth more than KCB and Equity combined. So you can see the opportunity that you have, that all the money that comes to Kenya from diaspora, if 1 year you just say you're going to buy KCB and Equity, you can do it in only 1 year. And you've seen that in the last 13 years, all the monies that we sent to Kenya could actually fund our budget. So you are a force, so we want you to be part of this growth, because again, the money is coming and you might not be able to account for it in terms of investments. So as you send money for lifestyle and supporting family members, also ensure that part of it is working for you here back in Kenya. Because I've seen people from diaspora talking about returning home 101. So part of it is to ensure that we still have an active bank account here. We have an investment account, and invest so that you can make Kenya proud and help us grow as a country. So we'll be ready to help you and assist you. So our strength is that we are usually available and we like engaging people. We like talking, because we are Africans, we like relating with people and talking to each other, helping each other. So we'll always be there to work with you, because it is a journey, like Raf and Dr. Lucy have said. So it's a journey that we look back in time and be proud of what we've done.
Well, I don't want to let you go just yet, because there's one thing that we talked about of I am a brand new investor, and now I'm clueless. How would you? There was the one that we talked about. There's 12, the rule of 12, something you mentioned before. How somebody can be a very young investor, they've never invested before. How would they start their portfolio?
So for very young investors, usually what we encourage them is to first to learn how to budget, just organize your finances so that you know what to spend in terms of your needs. And in terms of self-development, again, is very key, because if we don't do anything for ourselves, we are losing value, whether it is in terms of health or our well-being or in business. So you need to develop yourself, learn something new, some new course, and then there's that money that you'll decide to set aside every month. So usually we encourage people to do this consistently. So you'll start with an emergency fund. So an emergency fund is just to take care of your financial needs if things don't go as planned, which happens in life. Then after that, there's what we call aging money. So aging money is creating a level of abundance. So if you're setting aside emergency fund for only 6 months, try to put it up to 9 months, because that level of abundance will help you to be a good investor. And so after that, now, when you're investing and you are very young, you can take advantage of the stock market. So in the stock market, you can have shares that gain a lot. So there are companies that are growing, or you can go for dividends. So over time, you'll find that you're able to do very well. But the key thing is to be consistent and start now. So young people, they have the best opportunity more than anyone else. As much as everyone can participate, we encourage young people to start early and then accelerate this growth, because you've seen that if you're earning interest on interest, there's a point in time that you'll have a disproportionate advantage over those who are not doing that, because your money that you invested a long time ago is working for you. So that's very, very important that we do.
Ram, did you have something else to say?
Um,
You've got that look of, I have one more thing to just say.
No, I'm just happy to be a part of this diaspora conversation where we have been able to bring a lot of products to our people. Let me take a back seat a little bit and talk about what we do as institutions that are SACCOs. We have been able to successfully bring people together and have them invest collectively and send money. The billions that Robert was talking about, a part of that chunk comes from our two institutions and others. We have been able to help our members also invest in assets, properties and stuff like that in Kenya, especially in Kenya and also here, because we live in both worlds. It is also very nice now to start the year, because I believe the year has actually just started, for us now to sit down seriously and think about what we can do as institutions to now introduce these products officially onto our streamfold of lines of products to help those members that we do have who need a lot of help, because we have those who are within us, and help them become a part of this discussion. So I think at the end of the day, we are going to do that. We're going to call Robert and probably others who can help us put these things together, because between us, I think we have strengths of close to almost 6,000 people right here. Yeah, a lot. Yes. And that's at the bare minimum. So I think we owe that to them. We can do this and do it a lot better. This should be the start of that kind of discussion. And I'm sure we have had forums with Robert when we met in Nairobi, where we discussed that and we had some action plan items to work on. We are going to revive them again and see how this can be done going forward within the next month or so. So we'll keep in touch. And once we get some curriculum in place, then we can share it with our people and then we can get started from there. Thank you.
Absolutely. Applied knowledge is power. Just having the knowledge and not applying it doesn't give you any power.
True.
There is one question, Nancy Munyo Karogo. I see your question. How do you get in touch with Robert? We will have his, he has given us his information, and we can post it on the forum. The other thing, if you are joining us now, you want to apply, Robert, go back to that, to how somebody can join the community and how to join and to submit for being able to get the discount. And the discount is going to be good for 24 hours. We are getting a 10% discount, right?
Yes, 10%.
I believe it's
so
10%.
Let me share my screen.
And the code says Diaspora 2021 is what you would input to get that discount.
Yeah, so you'll go to our website, abojani.com, then you click join today.
Wait a minute.
Then under packages, you'll take the masterclass, which runs for 3 weeks. Then you click join today. So when you click that, you'll come and add one. Then you say continue. Then you input your details and put the discount code as Diaspora 2021 in capital letters. So that you'll get a 10% discount in the next 24 hours.
Okay.
And probably,
Thank you so much.
Probably
Go
what I
ahead.
can, yeah, those classes that Robert is talking about are diaspora friendly in terms of timings. You might hear 3 weeks, you think it's Monday to Friday from 8 to 5 every day. But I think they work in such a way that they have a specific time frame, which is also well suited to the time zones here. I think, Robert, if I'm not wrong, yeah? You wanna explain that a little bit?
Yes, so usually we have the classes running on WhatsApp and Zoom. So you'll have over the weekends is when you'll have the Zoom session catching up and taking you through what was discussed practically. And when you are in the WhatsApp group, you'll have content that you can always go through. We've never deleted anything since we started in 2018. So people are always able to go back and the community stays there.
Thank you. Mhm.
Okay. There's a question. Let me just read it. How much is the masterclass before the discount?
So before the discount, it is $30 or 3,000 Kenya shillings.
Okay.
You see now?
So Susie, Harry, Susie, that the response is 3,000 shillings, equivalent of $30, actually less than $30, based on the exchange rate. So it is very reasonable. So ladies and gentlemen, please plug in and let's begin creating that wealth. I want to thank Ralph for joining me in this conversation. You're my brother. You know, we have been on many forums together, and we have the same passion to grow our diaspora community and to create wealth for them. So please, if you have questions, you can direct them to Ralph as well. If you have questions regarding Abujani, because he is actually an actual customer. It's not somebody who is, what do you call it, arm's length. It's somebody who's already in the community and can give you actual feedback that you may have. Robert, I value you. I met you not too long ago, but it seems like we've meshed, and I really like what you're doing. And for you to come and educate our diasporans on what opportunities are available to them is priceless. And just be ready. And we love it that Ralph has affirmed that you are able to respond to the diasporans, because we are like microwave. We like microwave fast. Everything has to be quick, no delays. So we are happy to hear that your company is able to provide that to our diaspora clientele. So thank you so much for waking up so early in the morning, because you woke up. I think I woke you up maybe at 4 your time or 4:30. Thank you so much for waking up early to be able to join us for this. And somebody's asking, can they purchase the class per group for one price?
Thank you very much for having me.
$30.
Yeah, they can just get in touch with me. Yeah, they can get in touch with me so that we can organize for the payment. Then they'll share the details for the group.
Okay, perfect. So we will share Robert's details on the Facebook page as well. Please reach out to him, and let's go create that wealth diaspora. It is our time, and we are taking back our country. And wherever we live, we are going to be investors, and we shall definitely acquire that wealth, even wherever we live. But we can only do that if we have the right information, how to look at trends, like Ralph has mentioned. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night out there in the USA or wherever you are in the diaspora. Thank you so much for coming. And for those of you in Nairobi or in countries where people are just waking up, have a fantastic day ahead.
And for those of us who are going to sleep, we ask that you have a wonderful night of sleep. Again, the diaspora code is Diaspora 2021 to get that discount code. And I want to celebrate all of you next year, or even in the next few months, when you say, I got my first dividend check after going to the training. So thank you so much, Robert. Thank you so much, Ralph. You all have a great, great day and a great
Thank you.
night.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you
Bye.
so much.
Mhm.
Bye.
Bye.